Engineers, doctors, surgeons, all of those are going to become 10x less. Barber is probably the most hardest one to automate, right? That may not be automatable, but everything else, especially high tech, will get eliminated.
Even a more complicated job like driving inside a city is being replaced by a machine. I don't see why 90% of the jobs will not be there anymore.
Now I have two choices to make. I go to this traditional MBA where I will learn economics, I'll learn finance, I'll learn all the things that comes as part of the traditional MBA, and then step out of it, and I'm still left with a gap. Because remember, I'm stepping out in the world of new technology. Now my gap still exists. The gap is technology.
Right, so here we are with another interesting video for you guys. Today we have a set of people who are going to blow your minds with the kind of information and knowledge that they have about the world of technology, and today's conversation is also going to revolve around the world of technology in the future that we are probably looking at. And for that I have these three gentlemen sitting with me. Welcome one by one. Introduce yourselves and tell our audience as to why we are having this conversation, one, and who you guys are and why should they be listening to you. So I'll start with you.
Yeah, hi, my name is Samba. I am from TCS. I have about 36 years of experience in the IT technology, and for about 15 years I am with TCS now. I started my career with a bank, then I worked in the US, in Barbados, and then finally landed up with TCS. I handle the cloud consulting in TCS, and I am here mainly to talk about the advancements which we are looking at in the technology area and how we should gear up towards ensuring that we have people who can actually go ahead and take up these technology challenges going forward.
Great. Yep. 36 years of experience you're talking about, Samba, with you, and we're going to explore that more. Moving to you, Shridhar.
Yeah, so my experience is a little less than that. About 28 years experience, mostly in multiple markets worldwide. And I've been largely involved in wireless for most of the time. And I think the unique thing about my experience is I've had the opportunity of working with about 150 plus startups. Wow. In the last, and I've personally been either co-founded or founded 3 different startups myself. Mostly 2 of them in the wireless space and 1 in the consulting space.
So cumulative, we have 64 years of experience sitting in these 2 chairs. Can we reach 100?
No, you just missed that. So I have 25 years of experience in building products. So all of my career I've been building products out of India, Bangalore in fact. So software products, so a mix of technology and management. So I consult for companies, and my own company, we are building technology which actually enables automation and a bunch of other things.
Sama, I wanted to touch upon this because you know, it's very rare that we get someone like you who has such a huge experience in the field that we're talking about. For the generation of today, do you think they have an affinity towards going in for, you know, startups more, where they can see that, you know, the technology, the kind of applications that they're building, the tools that they're using, the kind of hands-on approach that they have towards career is more on the startup side of things than you know, these very, very old legacy companies?
Important thing here is lot more opportunities are coming when compared to what was there even a decade back. Okay, so you may find that there could be more apparently who want to go to startup and others. But I do think that's a fair thing of people being available for large enterprises to startups and this thing. Primarily, they are all driven by the role content and what they will be doing. So even when you are in legacy company, it's not that you are going on legacy or on a mainframe.
So you're not going there because of the name.
You are actually going to be working for the top end retail and the telecom companies which you are going to be working in there. So the person looking for a particular role, a particular technology, of course salary is important, and the challenges, risk which they can take, all that is important. But I do think that people give lot of weightage to the role and possibly even work-life balance than what possibly I did when I started my career. Okay, right? So people look at few things before they actually go ahead and take up. But I do think that working in cutting-edge technology and not being a generalist is what people are looking for. If they're going to get it from a startup, it's fine. Possibly you may get more, you may get less. That is, according to me, secondary. As long as work-life balance is taken care, the technology appetite is taken care. I do think that these two are two important criteria. I mean, I can talk based on what my son is doing today. Okay. Yeah.
So I think it's also societal evolution thing, because you know, in my father's generation, for example, it was working to survive, and I think in our generation it became working to thrive, and the next generation now is becoming because a lot of things have been taken care for them. So now they're looking at live a lifestyle of choice. You know, are you saying 30 years ago there was a choice? There was no choice. So, you know, so we're talking about a country where evolution of the society also has happened in the last 30, 40 years. If you look at the amount of growth that's happened, Bangalore has been growing as the fastest city in Asia for the last 35 years. So, you know, all of that has caused changes in societies, in homes, and most kids are single now, they don't even have siblings. So the amount of things, they don't need to worry about living. Career choices also are becoming possible, and acceptance of society also, like you said, is beginning to be true.
Correct, and I think it's happening because of the democratization of the
Of
jobs
wealth.
and the
Yeah, of
sectors
wealth,
that has
yeah,
happened.
exactly.
Let's talk about how technology is actually affecting some of these sectors where these jobs are coming up or are going to come up. Is there a prediction that's happening with respect to technology that these kind of sectors will get the most amount?
There is a pattern. There's a definite pattern that at least I am seeing. I think the others also can give their thoughts. Anything that is to do with pattern and pattern recognition, which includes coding. It starts from engineering and coding itself. It goes on to including it itself, including AI engineers, data scientists. All of these are pattern recognition activities, right? You understand a coding language, then you bring out code. That jobs will go away. Or everything to do, or for example, if I'm an X-ray specialist, I look at X-rays and find out if there is cancer or not. They're all going to go away. At least it is going to hyper specialize to a point. If there are 10 specialists who are looking at diagnostic information that is coming from some machines and making diagnosis out of it, if there are 10, it will become 1. There will be a drastic cut in all of those jobs. So engineers, doctors, surgeons, all of those are going to become 10x less. The one is services industry will remain, and I feel somebody was giving an example of a barber. Barber is probably the most hardest one to automate, right? That may not be automatable, but everything else, especially high tech, will get eliminated. And then some things that still need human connect, like for example a chef. So I was reading an interesting article, it was 100 years back, the kind of livelihood that will disappear, what they thought. The first thing that they had put in that list was a chef. They're saying it will get eliminated, humans will eat nutrition tablets and that is all they need. It's an exact reverse of that, because that's the human experience. Whatever you feel and experience, and whoever is providing that experience, that will not go away. But everything other than, you don't want to be standing you don't want to go to a cashier in a bank and want to have that experience. You don't want it. I just want cash. That job will go away. But I want to go to a restaurant and have a beautiful meal. That will not go. At least it will take time till robots even make that happen. But I see that as a pattern that is coming up.
I think the point really is about repetitive jobs. I think somehow the biggest victim of every technology is repetitive jobs. If it's a repetitive job, it will go. Whether it is, you know, very preliminary type of healthcare, or tailoring, or even chef. If it's a repetitive, including Uber, right? Uber has said that by, I may be slightly wrong on the date, but I think they said by 2030 or 2029, they said they expect 70% of the cars to be driverless worldwide. So, you know, driving is a repetitive job. Unless you want to drive and experience the joy of driving in the middle of the night on a highway that goes by the beach and the moon is shining and you have your wife or family with you. I think those experiences people will want to keep.
Probably
But
there'll be a law where you can't drive because you're a human, because the machine is so
exactly
powerful.
right, exactly
You
right.
may
know,
end up
it's
there.
probably going to happen. And like, you know, initially when, I remember the days when ATMs came to Bangalore for the first time, the company that did it was Citibank. Citibank was the one that launched, I think 50 ATMs or something they bought from Entity or Hitachi and put it up. And within, you know, initially it was a rage. People were queuing up in ATM, they wanted to try, but it was only for Citibank employees, Citibank account holders, right? Later, other banks started it. And you know, one of the first impact was when I actually went to the bank for something, they said you have to pay extra, there's a board there that says 50 rupees charge to come to the teller. That means they don't want you to meet the human, they want you to use the machine. So once you've invested in the machine, they want you to use it. Yeah. Even a more complicated job like driving inside a city is being replaced by a machine. I don't see why 90% of the jobs will not be there anymore. So I think one of the hardest questions I have in these kinds of discussions, if somebody asks me, so what kind of jobs will be valid in the next 5 years? It's impossible to answer.
Yeah. And by the way, it's a question of time horizon.
Yeah.
If you take a long enough time horizon,
everything will go.
There is nothing, including a barber, everything will go away.
I'm not going to ask you what jobs will, be there. I'm just going to ask you then that, people who are studying technology, these engineering graduates that we see in our country in abundance still today, do you see that if they don't upskill, if they don't learn certain other skills beyond what they have learned in those 3-4 years, whatever their course teaches them, their job is going to be redundant?
Yes.
I will just say one line.
Sure, please go ahead.
Just answer that in one line. I think the greatest skill that will become important is learnability. If you don't have the ability to learn new things, you might as well just give up the battle, because no skill will be permanently required.
I was saying agility in learning is what I was trying to tell you earlier, and appetite to learn. Just like a doctor, every day, even though they are all very busy, they get inputs from the medical representatives who come. They don't have time to look at all of that, but they are up to date, because when they studied, they were told that learning on the job is important, otherwise you are redundant, and you are also going to make the life of a human being difficult because of your wrong diagnosis. Whereas when it comes to software or technology, we are thinking that when it comes, there will be some training for you and then you will get enabled because of that. You have to learn. The key is being ready to learn very quickly, and for that foundation should be there. You should know basics.
Number one is learnability itself, and I worry that it is reducing, in fact, in the students who are coming out of college today. Yeah. The ability to acquire information faster and faster, assimilate it, and being able to put it to work, that will become the biggest skill that you can acquire, not specific skill sets. Then there is a second one that comes along with this, is ability to gather your attention and put it to use. Today, attention has become very extremely unfocused, right? It's extremely easy. You have Facebooks, you have Instagrams and whatnot. Everybody who is building these companies, from Twitters to YouTube, everything, the algorithms that they are building, is the singular goal of it is to break your attention into smaller and smaller chunks and take it for themselves. They are making you the product. I feel if you want to live in this world where you are continuously learning and improving for yourself, the only thing is, first thing you have to figure out is, how do I block myself from all this attention distracting things that are coming my way, and then be able to focus and learn. That will become a superpower. In fact, in the world of AI of tomorrow, which is going to happen, which is anyway going to happen, a big chunk of that AI is aiming at you and making you the product. The AI is aiming at you. If you are looking at a YouTube algorithm, that's AI, right? It's very intelligent AI, and its singular purpose is to keep you addicted and stay on one video after the other. If you have to unhook yourself, the ability to garner your attention and keep it in the way and structure it for yourself the way you want it. I want to do this, I want to do this, and all of my attention will stay to that. That will become your superpower.
Let's talk about the Technology Business Management program here at MAHE Bangalore campus that TAPMI is providing. I want to understand a little bit about this program. We were talking about technology and all three of you were sitting in here. You guys have provided the nuggets of what has happened in technology and what probably is the future, where it's looking like. How does a program like this fits into the picture then?
We have 3 specialization sectors in this based on both the institutional strength as well as the legacy that we have. One is healthcare, because Manipal is one of the largest private sector healthcare profitable organizations in the country. And so the very strong healthcare background, so we can easily extend that capability into a program. Second is fintech. Traditionally, as you know, as you saw in the presentation earlier, TAPMI Manipal is a 35-year flagship organization with strengths in HR and finance. So we wanted to leverage on that as well. And the third is healthcare, retail, and so these are the 3 areas we feel are going to be high growth. Therefore, the specialization in those areas. So the structure of the program is there's a core foundational program course, and there's a tech management course, and then these specialization sectors. That is how this is structured.
Value for them comes from the traditional MBAs. If I'm a student and I need to make this choice, whether I need to pick this program versus another program that is out there, right? If I were to wear that hat myself and look at it 15 years back, my options would be, I have to learn technology outside, I have to learn about management within the context of a course. That was all that was available for me. The fact that it is changing through the structure that you just defined, that has given me a wider variety of choice. So if I'm coming out of college, 2 years experience, 3 years experience, now I have 2 choices to make. I go to this traditional MBA where I will learn economics, I'll learn finance, I'll learn all the things that comes as part of the traditional MBA, and then step out of it, and I'm still left with a gap, because remember, I'm stepping out in the world of new technology. Now my gap still exists. The gap is technology. Technology is the gap, and nobody helped me fill that. So I walk out in the market still with a gap. I have acquired enough knowledge around management and everything, all the related subject. I still have the gap in technology, and you're walking into the world of technology. In a program like this, I have both of that covered, right? The program is helping me cover the technology part of it. The program is helping me cover the management part of it, including economics, HR, all the other aspects that need to be there. Now, the third one is the bonus, which is, if I am looking at a specialization, and there is a retail specialization, I saw there were 3 specializations, right? Healthcare and fintech. So if I fall into one of these specialization, nothing like it. Now I have got 3 things in my kitty. I am picking up the specialization. I am learning the technology that enables me when I walk into that market, and I also have acquired all the necessary information if I want to walk in as a manager, product manager, CXO as I'm going to grow. This program seems to be covering all of my bases for me.
2 things. While they talked about what the person can aspire, it's also what the companies will look for, okay, right? So in many cases it happens that there are certain things you can learn on the job, okay. It doesn't mean that core technology and core management you need to learn from that. You can actually get them acquired when you come in there. That is something which will make it much more interesting from the company's point of view, just to complete what they said. And in terms of what you are asking, it's important that the experiences which I have had, and typically people with who have seen from the COBOL days to where we were to object orient to others, I can say that I am one of the examples of trying to learn, and I know that if I don't learn, I am going to be left behind in a big way, okay, right. So I will be able to talk to students mainly around the fact that continuous learning is very important. You cannot leave it even if you are the CEO of the company. The second one is that by virtue of actually met with multiple customers and also seen how different people from different backgrounds, I shouldn't say struggle, but actually manage to learn I do think that I can go ahead and give the students. So, one of the things which I heard on this program is that you will have people who have the industry experience who will come in and be part of this faculty, apart from having mentor and few other stuff, which I thought was something which the students will benefit out of, and possibly that is one area where I could also be playing a role going forward.
One last question that I have for all three of you. What exactly are technology based companies? And I am not saying technology based companies because every company out there or every startup out there is going to embed technology in their day-to-day operations in one way or the other. So, in general, when we are talking about people looking to hire somebody, what are the kind of skills that they are looking at, and how do you think that after a program like this they will be able to take those challenges up in the kind of roles that they will be put into?
Yeah. So, it depends on the industry that you are walking into. So, for example, if you finish this and walk into a fintech company, it is going to be different. If you are walking into a services company, it's going to be different. If you are walking into a product company like mine, it's going to be different, right? But one aspect is, it also depends on the role that you are aspiring to grow into. I am assuming the students who are coming out of this, they have certain path in their mind. So, let us say they are picking up a product management path for themselves. Then I am assuming they pick their choices of subjects also carefully, so that then when they walk out, they can position themselves so that they become interesting for the companies. And this is where we are, as a founder of HireWand, we manage millions of resumes, and the experience of seeing candidates go through, the fundamental mistake that they do today, and I think it continues to happen, is they always think oh, I aspire to be this, which is good, but in addition to that they have to say, I have to reposition myself, my experience, so that I am interesting enough to this other organization. Let us say I want to walk into a consulting company like TCS, then what does it mean? Even before I start my education, if that is my aim, if I want to go there, what are the choices that I have to make so that that company finds me the most interesting, right? When I look at the problem that way, about what is the things that I have learned and how do I position myself when I walk into this company, then things become very clear, right? So, I may pick certain core subjects which is required, I may pick the certain technology specialization that I want, I may pick, let us say I want to walk into fintech and the fintech specialization is there. It is an obvious choice that I have to pick the choice, and then when you come into a campus interview or you are walking into a company, my positioning becomes very strong. There are many fintech companies out there. Let us assume I am a student going through this course, I pick the fintech specialization, and then I am looking at the technology options that are there. Obviously, I am going to pick AI ML, I am going to pick analytics. These are all things that strengthen my fintech knowledge. So, I pick fintech, I look at all the specializations that are available, I pick these 10 options which will strengthen the fintech when I walk into a fintech company. Then I look at the remaining core subjects that are available, and I may make the decision there also. You know what, HR may be not that interesting for me, maybe economics is interesting, maybe finance is more interesting because it is again related to I pick this the multiple options that are available, position it to where I want to go, and then I can walk into the company, position this saying, see, I have acquired all of this knowledge, it makes the most sense for you to pick me up. So, that kind of positioning can happen if you already have in mind that this is the path that I want to take.
The requirement in this program for the candidates to have at least 2 years of work experience. So, hopefully in that 2-year period, they have made this analysis and they have understood what are the things that they want to do and what kind of skills they need to have to get into the program. Post the program, our understanding is that this, for example, there is a technology product that is being deployed by a fintech company, which it wants to, the candidate who comes out from this program should be in a position to start off taking ownership of the product and being able to deliver a vision for the product and being able to start creating the necessary decisions that need to create a large multiplier of revenue of that product, versus the company having to train him, versus the just being looking at marginal growth in revenues or marginal growth in customer base. So that was, till now, one of the things we have noticed in the industry is a lot of companies, even those that build products, are looking to just do an incremental revenue from the new MBA hires. Versus in this program, they should be able to create a 10x or a 100x based on ownership of the product. I think that delta, that difference is going to be noticeable once it can be done.
We are all looking forward to what the industry is looking forward to. We are all looking forward to what technology has to offer, because it's surprising us every single day with the kind of innovations that are taking place every single day. Thank you very much for taking our time today from your busy schedules for making a visit to this new campus that is being built for the kind of future students who are going to be part of this particular campus, telling them about what they can expect from a program that's upcoming. If you want to know more about this particular program, there's a link in the description, go check that out. Do send this video to people who probably need this and who are looking forward to a 2-year MBA experience specifically catered towards technology. Thank you very much once again, gentlemen, and I wish you have a very good evening once we're done with this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.